Hey everyone, it's Karen here from the Stitch Sessions, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to kind of have like a crochet theory lesson. Now hear me out. I know those of you that are not into theory are going to be like, skip this. But I think you'll really want to kind of hang out with me today. A couple of videos ago, I worked on a crochet hexagon cardigan. Super popular project. Lots of people do it, and with great success, by the way. Now, I had a particular request from someone asking me to do the crochet hexagon using the mesh stitch. And I have a tutorial on our channel that creates the hexagon using a mesh stitch, and it comes out beautifully. However, when we took the mesh stitch and placed it into the hexagon shape, when we're trying to create something like the cardigan, that famous cardigan, we had to do a little troubleshooting. So I did a little bit more of a deeper dive, and that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, is that shape and how you can manipulate the amount of stitches to use it to create different types of items that you want. So some shapes or some projects may want you to overload the stitches in the shape, which will cause it to ripple and bend, and that way you can shape it into something like a cardigan. And then there are projects when you have to have slightly less stitches if you want your work to lay flat. And most especially because the crochet hexagon is such a popular shape in crochet. I mean, next to the granny square, I would say the granny hexagon is popular number 2 in second place. So despite what you may think about the granny hexagon, I'm going to share with you some interesting little tidbits that you might be surprised about the hexagon itself, or the famous granny hexagon. So if you plan on doing it for something like an Afghan or a blanket, you're going to have to approach that hexagon in a slightly different way. So that's what we're going to dive into in today's hangout session, let's call it that. And hopefully you're going to find these tips really, really useful, and it will help you kind of when you're making the decision of like, I'm going to do it this way if I'm working on a cardigan, or I'm going to do it this way if I'm working on it, for a blanket or a scarf or something like that. So let's not waste any time and let's dive right in. Okay guys, so let's have a look at what I've got here. So in front of us here, I actually have 3 hexagons, okay? And believe it or not, they are all hexagons, even this funny one here. So the most traditional one that you probably would have seen is something that looks like this. This is the typical hexagon granny square. So it's got the 6 sides, it's a little bit airy, and everything is nice and uniform. You've got 6 sides and 6 points, right? Now, you've also got something like this that is also a hexagon. You can see it's just wanting to curl a little bit up here. Now, I did use a finer weight yarn for this one, but what I wanted to point out is that I used the mesh stitch for this one. And many of you have seen my mesh stitch hexagon tutorial, which is what has inspired a lot of you to want to create other projects with it, which I'll get to in a second. But I have created quite a large hexagon because I wanted you to see generally how this would work out if all you kept doing was the mesh stitch while creating the hexagon shape. So the mesh stitch is simply a double crochet, a chain 1, skip 1, and a double crochet. And that's what gives it that really pretty airy look. And of course, in the corners, you place your increase to create that shape. So in the mesh stitch corner, all I ever do is I place a double crochet, I chain 2, and I double crochet. Okay, so the chain 2 is usually what will give you a nice bend to create a corner or a shape of some kind. Okay, now, so you've got this hexagon and this hexagon, and they look somewhat similar. The difference is in the texture. So you can see here, this one has a bit more chunk to it, and this one is very airy, okay? Now, this one over here is also a hexagon. It actually looks like a little starfish at the moment. But this hexagon is actually done with a typical granny shell stitch, okay? So if I pick this up, and I take you to the center here. So that is the initial shaping of our hexagon. Okay, so you can see the top, the side, bottom, and the other 2 sides. So what do we have here? We have 6 sides and 6 points. Now what you'll notice that we do not have a typical granny shell. What we are doing is, in order to create a little bit of airiness, we have used the V-stitch. Now the V-stitch uses the same number of stitches as a shell does. It's 3 stitches. So a granny shell is 3 double crochets. A V-stitch is a double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet. 3 stitches. And that's why this is still considered, in my opinion, a typical granny hexagon using the granny shell. So I really wanted to bring this up because a few videos back, I worked on a hexagon cardigan, and it was at the request of one of our fabulous subscribers. And she had seen my mesh stitch hexagon and loved it, as do I, and thought, okay, perfect, because I've always wanted to do a hexagon cardigan, so I'll just use this stitch. So there's a little issue here, and that is the loading of your stitches at the beginning. So you can see here in the mesh stitch, I started with the mesh stitch and I continued on through the whole thing. So I never loaded my motif with stitches, therefore it stayed flat. So in order for me to then try to fold it, because that's usually how you work the hexagon cardigan, you would fold it, and then at some point it bends down to create part of the body and part of the sleeve. But as you can see, it does not do that with the mesh stitch. So as I worked on that particular project, when I was working on the hexagon cardigan, I made this discovery. And of course, along the way, I tried to troubleshoot by adding more stitches in certain rounds. So I've worked this out so that I've gone back to actually using the traditional granny shell. So that's 3 stitches. So you can see here, because we overload, well, we didn't overload, but we properly loaded the granny shell stitches in the center, that with subsequent rounds, eventually it's just so many stitches that it starts to buckle. Okay. And so in our case of the cardigan, we want that, right? So if I show you here, so that's one side, there's 2, there's 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you can kind of see that hexagon shape. So now, once I've got a whole bunch, I think I've done about 20 rounds. So I did 20 rounds here and 20 rounds here. So just to show you the comparison, this has less stitches. This has more stitches in the motif it's using, right? So here, the mesh stitch simply uses less stitches. The granny shell obviously uses more stitches. So now if I wanted to use this to create my cardigan, I would take one of my sides, fold it in half, and then it would match up nicely with all the other points. And now you can see, oh wow, okay, it looks like half of a cardigan, right? So you would work up another hexagon and it would create the opposite side. And in fact, I am currently going to make this an adult size. So the previous project I had worked on, I did it for a small child. And so this time I am strictly just going to use this stitch, and I'm going to work it all the way up until an adult size, which I'm going to make it for me. So I know a lot of you are curious because you want to make these things for yourself. So let me circle back to the mesh stitch, because of course that is such a pretty kind of texture, and it creates a pretty fabric. But as you can see, it's just not going to give us the ripple we need in order for us to be able to shape it into the cardigan shape. So this is why in this example, I use the V stitch. Okay, so the V stitch has a double crochet, we chain 1 and double crochet into the same spot. So it's the same principle as a mesh stitch in the sense that you're separating all of your double crochets with a chain, but we are loading them up into the same spot. So that's what creates, it's almost like a continuous increase situation. And so you can see that in the center of the sides, that's where it's buckling. And then of course in the corners, I placed a V-stitch, chain 2, and a V-stitch. So in a typical granny, like a granny square, you would do a shell stitch, which is 3 double crochets. It's 3 stitches, right? So the V also has 3 stitches, a double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet. And then of course, to create the bend in our corner, I chain 2 and then place another V-stitch there. So I'm hoping that this will kind of give you some true clarity on the Hexagon cardigan. It's such a popular project, and of course it's so fun and you can be so creative with it. And so with today's video, I wanted to give you a nice clear understanding of how the hexagon works, how the shaping works, and how you can manipulate it in order to crochet that infamous cardigan. Now let's back up here to what we call the traditional granny hexagon. So many of you might think, well, but how come that one stayed flat and this one did not? Well, here is the secret. The secret is that even though this is called the granny hexagon, it doesn't actually use the traditional granny shell of 3 double crochets. So it actually uses, if I kind of come in close here, you can see that instead of 3 double crochets in each of their little clusters, there's only 2. And this is what I call the V-stitch variant. So it's like a V-stitch, but there's no chain 1 in the middle to create an extra space. So instead of taking up 3 stitches, it only takes 2. Now you probably would have seen last week's stitch tutorial or maybe the week before, and I talked all about the V-stitch variant on its own, just so that you can really understand the difference between a traditional V-stitch and the V-stitch variant. And so this, using the V-stitch variant, is actually what helps to create the motif and, you know, a typical granny look, and it does not curl or ripple. Okay, so it's about understanding how and when to load your center with more stitches or less stitches depending on the type of motif that you want to do. So essentially, no matter what shape you're doing, whether it's a square, it's a hexagon, an octagon would also be another one where you'd have to be careful not to overload the center, because an octagon would have 8 sides. And now you really have to watch, because if you put too many stitches here in the center, you're going to get this ripple effect. So unless you wanted to work on a cardigan or something where you want to shape it, less is better. Okay, so 3 different hexagons and you've got 3 different looks. So, you know, these two are probably much more comparable because they somewhat still maintained their shape. Okay, this one has even less stitches than this one, and that is why with subsequent rounds, you see it kind of wants to do a little curl there on the corners. And I have had people asking me about, you know, crocheting a hexagon blanket or afghan, like you can just start in the middle and continue on. So you can absolutely do that. You can do it with this V-stitch variant or with the mesh stitch. Now, the thing you have to watch is with the mesh stitch, because we have much less stitches, eventually some parts of it do want to curl the further out you get. So what I would be really aware of doing is just, you might want to add a little extra chain in all your corners. And because see, it's just short on stitches. It wants to just lie flat. Now you can see as I press it with my hand, it does flatten out. So it might also be something as simple as giving it a nice blocking and you would be a-okay. But I think that this is fantastic, especially in a fine weight yarn. To do this mesh stitch is so pretty. So if you like the mesh stitch and you want to create that hexagon cardigan, my recommendation is to do it using the V-stitch. And like I said, there's going to be a tutorial all about how I use this exact thing to make one life size for me. And then of course, if you want to just create smaller motifs that you're going to attach as part of a larger project, like an afghan, blankets, scarves would be really pretty too, then this mode I would say would be for you. So the traditional granny hexagon does not have an actual granny shell in it. So that is my little kind of myth buster. So if I'm shattering any granny shell dreams, I apologize. But it took me a long time, like over the years, I've made lots of granny motifs, but I've actually, most of the time when I've done things like hexagons, I have done solid shapes, like I've done solid motifs, or maybe I started with a circle in the center. I think for those of you that remember the little lambs baby blanket that I made, I'll leave a link for it down below if you're interested. It actually started with a circle in the center because that was the face of the little lamb. And then I shaped out the motif to be a hexagon. So I've worked the hexagon in a variety of different ways. I've just never worked it in the traditional granny shape. So hopefully that's given you some enlightenment on this shape. And actually, I've also noticed on my channel, I've got a lot of hexagon motifs, but I've never done the actual traditional granny hexagon. So if it hasn't just been released as well, this one will also be coming out shortly too. So this one I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and I think that would be nice. It's basically kind of the size of my hand if I wanted to make an attachment to create a larger blanket. So again, just be aware of how large you make your motifs because that will kind of affect your basic look. All right, I know I did a lot of talking, but hopefully this has all made sense to you. All right, guys. Well, I hope you found that really interesting and hopefully very, very useful. So let me know down below if there's anything that maybe you felt like I missed or if you had any other questions. Definitely leave it down in the comment box down below. And also, for those of you that are super pros at doing hexagons, if you have any other advice to offer, definitely leave that in the comment box down below. I know we always find it very, very helpful. And I know some of you do like to email me directly, and I absolutely adore it. So feel free to do so. You can always email me at info@crochetcrafty.com. And as always, make sure to check out the website. There's a lot of great resource tools there for you. We've got tons of sizing charts. There's checklists there for you. There's also a bunch of free written patterns and a link to my Etsy shop where you guys can find the pattern to the infamous beach bag. And I'm gonna put that up here if I can fit it on the screen. And the reason why I bring it up is because I know we're just about to head into summer and now is a perfect time to start working on things like beach bags. It's quite a large bag, so now would be a good time to start and you'll have it ready in time for the beach. Other than that, you can come and say hi to me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram at The Stitch Sessions. And if you are new here, I hope you come and hang out with us more often. I upload a brand new video every Wednesday morning. So if you like, click that subscribe button. It's absolutely free and come hang out with me every week. In the meantime, I hope you have an amazing day. Happy crocheting, everybody. Remember to take really good care of yourselves and I will see you guys in next week's session. Bye-bye.